Esta presentación es sobre software de conectividad móvil, específicamente software de conectividad Telnet, SSH y web para dispositivos móviles en los centros de distribución. Me va a acompañar el equipo de Georgia SoftWorks. Hola, muchas gracias por estar aquí. En un momento se van a presentar. Me presento primero yo, me llamo Alejandro Calero, soy el socio principal de Mobilis, una empresa con casi 20 años de presencia en el mercado mexicano y latinoamericano. Somos miembros del programa de ISVs, proveedores de software independientes de Zebra. Nos pueden encontrar en la página de zebra.com y también en la página de honeywell.com como socios especializados también en software de emulación. Y a partir de este año, somos también miembros de la familia de revendedores de Georgia SoftWorks, especializándonos en la conexión de dispositivos móviles en centros de distribución. En este momento, I would like to switch to English to hand it over to you guys so that you can introduce yourselves.
Very well, thank you. My name is Mark Slocum. And the map we just saw represents our global presence of end users, integrators, and resellers. This map with the blue dots on it indicates locations of IP addresses that have downloaded our software product. And here are some of our globally recognized end users and vertical markets that they support.
Georgia SoftWorks was founded in the United States in Georgia in 1991. We're the world leader in Telnet and SSH software. We have also provided the FIPS 142/2 or FIPS 140/2 solution to the United States military. We also have over 5 million downloads of our software in over 100 countries.
Which is the reason why I'm very grateful that you guys are joining me for this presentation. So let me switch to Spanish one more time to continue with the presentation.
Certainly.
Oh, excuse me.
That's
There's one slide
This
missing.
is still me. This is still me, sure.
Yes.
All right. The Georgia SoftWorks UTS is a Telnet and SSH server that is one of our primary products. It provides excellent security with SSH. It has session persistence. It provides capabilities for automatic logon. It uses Windows Active Directory for security, and it can also be used as a jump server for Unix or Linux servers. The GSW ConnectBot Android client is a Telnet SSH and web client. It's simple to configure, and you can export configurations at will. You can do custom and context-sensitive keyboards. It has built-in enhancements for ITS Mobile and a built-in SSH public-private key creation. The GSW LAD server, licensing and deployment server, works with the GSW ConnectBot client. It issues licenses very much like a DHCP server. The client requests the license, the LAD server supplies the license. After a certain amount of time, the license is returned to LADs if the client does not reconnect. It also gives you the ability to upload and download configurations. It can also host a default configuration that is automatically downloaded to any new GSW ConnectBot client that is launched on the network. GSW ConnectBot and LADs are in constant communication, exchanging scan data, hardware data, and other data that's relevant to your business applications. All of this information is forwarded to the GSW-Analytics operational dashboard. It gives you real-time statistics on all of the events that are happening in your environment. It gives you scan data, device data, indoor device tracking, wireless heat maps, custom keyboard creation, and it also a custom messaging system as well. Now we'd like to switch over to a demonstration. Not yet. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, this part.
Please continue.
I'll switch to Spanish now. Todos estos elementos los vamos a ver con un poco más de detenimiento a lo largo de la presentación. Lo importante para mí resaltar es que Georgia SoftWorks es este líder en el mercado que construye el servidor Telnet o el servidor SSH al que nuestros dispositivos en los centros de distribución se conectan. La mayoría de las veces nosotros sin saber que Georgia está del lado de la aplicación del cliente. Las aplicaciones móviles que ejecutan los trabajadores pueden estar en diferentes campos de aplicación. En el centro de distribución, por supuesto, es donde nos interesa, pero el software que vamos a revisar a lo largo de esta presentación también puede ser utilizado para acceder a aplicaciones y la información de la empresa en otro tipo de entornos. En el punto de actividad, por ejemplo, aplicaciones en mantenimiento o incluso en la industria de salud. En el centro de distribución, en particular, en este estudio realizado por la empresa BDC Research Group, de 5 años atrás a la fecha, se nota una tendencia muy interesante de crecimiento de la utilización de los dispositivos móviles utilizando software Telnet o software browser en comparación con las aplicaciones propietarias. Sí, están ahí estas aplicaciones propietarias, pero en su inmensa mayoría los dispositivos móviles en los centros de distribución utilizan o un Telnet o un browser. Por eso hace mucho sentido poner atención en la oferta que existe en el mercado de software de conectividad con estos tipos de protocolos de conexión Telnet o web. Hasta este momento, una tendencia importante de utilización de software de conectividad había sido la utilización de software prelicenciado, software que viene precargado en algunos de los modelos más populares de uso en el centro de distribución. Y ese software normalmente no se configuraba más allá de apuntar a la dirección de la aplicación empresarial, tal vez hacer algunos remapeos de las teclas y dejarlo funcionando. Y eso significa una subutilización de la capacidad de captura de datos y de la capacidad de incremento de productividad para el trabajador que hemos medido aproximadamente en 30%. Y también está una situación relativamente reciente, a partir del último trimestre del 2024 a la fecha, un fabricante de software dominante de este tipo de software de conectividad cambió su modelo de licenciamiento de un modelo de licencias perpetuas a un modelo de licencias por suscripción. Y eso, en mi opinión, abre dos vulnerabilidades importantes. La primera es que si el software es por suscripción, significa que al término de la suscripción, el software deja de funcionar. Y eso no es permisible en un ambiente de misión crítica como el despacho de mercancías en un centro de distribución. Y la segunda vulnerabilidad es económica, porque este precio de suscripción encarece significativamente la inversión en los dispositivos móviles. Sin embargo, Georgia SoftWorks tiene un software de conectividad para ambientes Telnet que resuelve estos dos desafíos. Resuelve el tema del licenciamiento porque es un software de licenciamiento perpetuo, pero más importante, le da a los integradores de las soluciones de dispositivos móviles y a los operadores de los centros de distribución una serie de características avanzadas que elevan la productividad de los trabajadores en ese 30% que les mencioné antes, que hemos medido que tienen subutilizados los equipos móviles. ¿Cómo lo hacemos? Mediante teclados personalizados que aceleran la velocidad de captura de datos en el dispositivo, y mejor aún, utilizando al máximo el lector de código de barras de los dispositivos, aprovechando los múltiples campos que están codificados en las etiquetas que siguen los estándares de GS1. El reconocimiento de voz permite utilizar los dispositivos móviles con manos libres, y el software de Georgia SoftWorks, como explicó Steve Lindsay hace un momento, tiene una plataforma cuyo licenciamiento está integrado a la licencia de ConnectBot, que permite la centralización de las licencias y de las configuraciones de los dispositivos. Y no hay que perder de vista la evolución de las interfaces de conexión de los proveedores de sistemas WMS más populares en América Latina. Poco a poco están abandonando la interfase Telnet y adoptando la interfase web para, en la mayoría de los casos, subir la instancia del WMS a la nube y facilitar entonces para los usuarios finales la administración en general de la infraestructura del WMS. Esta transición va a tomar tiempo. Todos estos proveedores de WMS tienen una base instalada importante todavía funcionando en interfase Telnet, pero la migración ya está en marcha. Entonces, el software de Georgia SoftWorks es ideal en este tipo de situaciones porque incluye ambos tipos de conexión en la misma licencia. Y eso permite una transición sin costo adicional para la empresa, y además sin desafíos operacionales, porque el software de administración LATS permite esa transición de manera prácticamente automática. Zero touch, como le llama el equipo de Georgia SoftWorks. Entonces, en un solo producto tenemos los dos ambientes, la pantalla negra y el texto verde de la interfase Telnet y la conexión para aplicaciones web. Y en ambas aplicaciones tenemos características avanzadas que elevan la productividad de estos trabajadores. Y estas las vamos a demostrar a continuación. Quiero empezar primero yo y después le voy a pasar el micrófono a mis colegas de Georgia SoftWorks. Primero vamos a ver el autofocus. Aquí a la derecha pueden ver una aplicación típica de SAP en ITS Mobile. Y lo que quiero que observen es este campo donde está escaneando el usuario. Sin una implementación optimizada como la que permite Georgia SoftWorks, el usuario tendría que tocar la pantalla cada vez que quisiera hacer un escaneo de una etiqueta. Pero el autofocus permite activar el cursor en el campo de datos, de manera que ahorramos esa fracción de segundo en cada uno de los escaneos. Esto es una actividad que aparentemente es sencilla, pero tiene un impacto de efecto acumulado entre todos los usuarios a lo largo de toda la jornada, todos los días. Las siguientes características avanzadas que queremos demostrar, las vamos a demostrar en vivo. Y para esto voy a cambiar a inglés, de modo que mis colegas de Georgia SoftWorks se puedan hacer cargo de la demostración. Guys, the microphone is yours.
Thank you very much. I'd like to proceed with the demonstration of GSW ConnectBot.
Okay,
All right.
we're watching.
What you're seeing on the screen are two of the GSW ConnectBot Android client screens. The first one over here, we're using a software called Visor, which is basically a remote control software that allows us to project the actual screen of the Android device onto a PC. So what you're seeing is happening in real time on an Android device. This is the host list that you will see when you launch GSW ConnectBot. You can have one connection or you can have many connections. You can have many protocols. You can use Telnet, SSH, HTTP, or HTTPS, and you can have them all running simultaneously. Let's take a look at the first, which is the TE connection. Basically, you just select your protocol at the top. You can use SSH, Telnet, HTTP, HTTPS, or you could even set up a local host connection. You have your username at your host name. You can choose to use automatic logon. You would enter your username, your password. You can mark the password as exportable, and this is useful if you use LADs to store configurations, because if you export this configuration to the LAD server, the password will travel with the configuration. But when you save this configuration on the Android device, don't worry, the password is encrypted so that if the device is lost or stolen, no one will be able to get to it. The host is automatically populated, the port is automatically populated, and the nickname is freeform, so you can name this connection anything you want. At this point, you're pretty much done with setting up a basic connection. So let's save this and launch the connection. This is a standard TE connection via SSH. It also demonstrates our GSW keyboards as well. GSW ConnectBot comes with a set of 3 separate keyboards in every installation. You have your QWERTY keyboard, your numeric keyboard, and your special keyboards. You can change the color at will to whatever color scheme you desire or whatever color scheme supports a lighting condition. You can make the keyboard transparent, or you can make the keyboard fully opaque. You can minimize the keyboard, and you can also bring the keyboard back. And right now, we'd like to demonstrate the context sensitivity of GSW ConnectBot. GSW ConnectBot can recognize elements on a screen and adjust the keyboard based on the requirements of the screen. As you see on this screen, I need a full keyboard to be able to type in my username and password, which is auto-filled in this case. But when I click OK, the keyboard changes. I only have 5 selections here. I have an SMS, a Google Authenticator, Octopush, Okta Authenticator, and an OK button. So my keyboard adjusted automatically to only show those 5 buttons. When I click OK, the keyboard is going to adjust itself again. And now, to enter the passcode that I receive via SMS, I only need the numerics, the backspace, the cancel, and the OK button. So the keyboard automatically adjusts itself to the requirements of the screen. Next, we're going to move into some Cordova examples.
Cordova is a very powerful API framework that we integrated with our enterprise browser to enhance the browser capabilities. It can be used to build out a brand new application from scratch, or, which is most commonly used, being able to augment existing applications. It allows us to have API access to hardware features on the device, such as what's shown on the screen, the battery status. This can be used in various parts of the application or exported to different applications. We have scanner access and control, as well as the ability to access the camera from a button on a browser. And like you can see here, if there's a broken case of waters, we can have a button to take a picture of that. And once that picture is taken, since we have the ability to transfer files, we can transfer that file to any web server. As you can see in the top right, that's stored on one of our web servers. So that way you can easily report anything damaged or anything that you need photo evidence of. The last demonstration for Cordova that we'll go over is the data matrix barcodes. So on the right side, we have a data matrix QR code, and on this page, we have various fields that this barcode will get parsed into. So we can parse these barcodes. Let me scan this. So now that that QR code is scanned, we have regex statements to parse out that barcode into the proper fields on the application. And as you can see here, it can be done on a single page, or this data can be stored in memory and then reused later throughout the application. So you only have to scan the barcode one time, and then the data can be extracted where it's needed.
All right, let's switch back over to this device, and I'm going to show you the basic ITS mobile screen. There's nothing special about this. It's a standard configuration. We can go in here and edit the host. We have the protocol. Again, we're choosing HTTPS. You have your URL for the ITS mobile instance. You have the nickname, which is freeform. And we don't have our ITS mobile enhancements or anything like that. So this is going to be an out-of-the-box, basically demo of ITS mobile. And as you can see, the buttons are boring, not very attractive, and it's not formatted extremely well. So we're going to back out of here, and we're going to switch over to our ITS mobile demonstration that has our built-in enhancements where we programmatically change the screens, modify the buttons, modify the layout somewhat, and add the ability with AccuSpeech Mobile for voice control. In this device, the configuration is basically the same, but in this case, we've enabled the ITS mobile enhancements, and we have also injected Cordova to allow the functionality of the AccuSpeech Mobile. You can also use the skins to change the appearance of ITS Mobile to whatever color scheme you like. There's about a dozen different color schemes pre-programmed in. We're going to leave this on deep purple and teal because we think that's an attractive combination. So let's go ahead and save this and launch the ITS Mobile Enhanced with AccuSpeech.
Georgia SoftWorks AccuSpeech for its mobile demonstration. Username field start rule. Password field start rule.
At this point, I can change the language. Spanish, German, English.
Wow.
English. I can also hide the keyboard. Hide keyboard.
Screen grammar hide keyboard.
Show keyboard.
Screen grammar show keyboard.
And now we'll log in.
Username field start rule.
No, wrong field. I thought I hit tab. Apologies.
Password field start rule.
Log on. And now you can see that all the buttons have been pre-formatted. The color scheme has been applied, and everything is much more user-friendly and much better formatted. We'll go ahead and log out of this. And that concludes the demo of the basics of the GSW ConnectBot Android client. Oh, actually, I want to show you Zero Touch. Apologies, I missed that. Zero Touch is very important because if we have a default configuration that you want to download to multiple devices across an environment, all you have to do is configure one device. So on this device over here, we're going to uninstall GSW ConnectBot. Click OK. And now we're going to go into our file structure and locate our APK. Where's our downloads? There we are. So we have an APK on this device, and this can be installed in any way you like. But once you launch the APK and go through the installation process, we're not going to scan this app for the demonstration purposes. Once it's installed, I will open the application. It's going to scan the network, locate the LAD server, pull down a license from the license pool, and then download the default configuration. And when it's finished, it will be a duplicate of this device. Great time saver in terms of administration. All you have to do is configure one device, upload it as the default configuration, and then every time that you launch a new device on the network running GSW ConnectBot, it configures itself. An important point to remember is over here, we're in admin mode. So we have access to every setting available on the device. But when you download a configuration from LADS, you're in work mode. So you don't have access to any settings that can potentially affect the end user's ability to do their job. You can switch into admin mode if you know the password, but your workers won't be able to do that. That concludes the demonstration of GSW ConnectBot.
Very impressive. Thank you very much, Steve.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And Ben. Let me switch to Spanish just to make a very quick recap of what we saw and what you demonstrated. Entonces, aquí tenemos el software de ConnectBot mostrando 4 perfiles. En el primer perfil, el que está en blanco, en el context keyboard, lo que vimos fue la selección pantalla por pantalla del diseño de teclado adecuado para la tarea correspondiente de cada pantalla. Por ejemplo, en la pantalla de ingreso de credenciales, el teclado relevante era el alfabético completo. En la pantalla de confirmación, I would still like to see the screen, please.
Sorry.
Thank you. En la pantalla de confirmación del SMS tenemos el teclado numérico. Y eso se puede hacer discrecionalmente en cualquiera de las pantallas. También vimos el ejemplo de Córdoba, estas extensiones que fortalecen las aplicaciones, por ejemplo, con el uso de la cámara que estamos viendo todavía ahí en la esquina superior derecha, de modo que se pueda tomar una evidencia fotográfica, por ejemplo, de la condición en la que recibimos producto en los andenes de un centro de distribución, o un pedido completo, también dejar una evidencia fotográfica sin salir del ambiente de ConnectBot, y dejando un archivo con la fotografía nombrada con todos los datos de la tarea, del trabajador, del sitio, de manera que pueda ser fácilmente utilizada y extraída de la base de datos en donde la hayamos depositado. También vimos la optimización de la interfase en browser de SAP ITS Mobile. Y no sé si están de acuerdo conmigo, pero de una manera muy impresionante también vimos cómo en el browser podemos utilizar el reconocimiento de voz para navegar los diferentes controles que demostró Steve. Botones que se desdoblan, el ingreso de datos tradicional, botones de radio, cualquiera de los objetos que aparecen en la página web puede ser manipulada, ¿no? Manejada a través de comandos de voz. Habíamos visto, si han trabajado conmigo, con Mobilis en el pasado, habíamos visto el reconocimiento de voz aplicado en las interfaces Telnet. Lo genial con ConnectBot de Georgia SoftWorks es que el reconocimiento de voz funciona en ambos tipos de conexión, tanto en el Telnet como en el browser. Voy a compartir ahora mi pantalla de nuevo. Thank you very much, guys, again.
Very welcome.
Entonces, tal vez estarán de acuerdo conmigo que el software del dispositivo móvil es quien verdaderamente convierte la operación en el centro de distribución en una operación moderna, acortando los tiempos de ejecución de las tareas con todas estas técnicas avanzadas que vimos. Mi técnica favorita es la captura de datos de códigos GS1 o en general etiquetas de códigos de barra que tengan más de un campo codificado en la etiqueta, porque es la manera más rápida de elevar la productividad de los trabajadores. Y lo que vimos con la utilización de la voz puede ser un complemento que no excluye la utilización de todos los otros elementos de captura de datos. Coexiste. Entonces, la captura de datos puede ser a través de código de barras, del teclado físico o del teclado de la pantalla o de voz. ¿Cómo funciona? El app, como vieron durante la demostración de Steve, se puede instalar a partir del Google Play Store o bajar de una carpeta compartida que proporciona Mobilis en un OneDrive. Se instala en un dispositivo para poder hacer una conexión ya sea por BT100 o SSH en su modalidad de interfase Telnet de manera directa o a través de un servidor de persistencia. Usuarios de Oracle WMS, por ejemplo, deberían de considerar esta arquitectura de con una política de conexión redundante muy flexible. Yo puedo definir, por ejemplo, las direcciones IP a las que me quiero conectar de modo redundante, en cualquier orden. Si una de las direcciones IP falla, entonces me puedo conectar a la siguiente. Entonces, por ejemplo, puedo apuntar mi cliente ConnectBot a mi servidor de persistencia, que a su vez se conecta al Oracle WMS, y dejar como segunda dirección IP de redundancia la dirección de Oracle WMS directa. De modo que si el servidor de persistencia llegara a fallar, que no debería de fallar, pero suponiendo que ocurre un desastre y el servidor deja de funcionar, los trabajadores no pierden su conexión al WMS. Continúan trabajando sin la protección de la persistencia, pero eso permite al equipo de IT de la empresa resolver el problema con el servidor y volver a la normalidad con conexiones protegidas con redundancia. Cualquiera que sean las configuraciones, a través de un servidor de persistencia o con personalización de teclados o con el enriquecimiento del reconocimiento de voz, esas configuraciones se pueden entonces subir al servidor LATS y desde ahí propagar, como vimos durante la demostración, Zero Touch, sin tocar el dispositivo, simplemente abriendo la aplicación, el software descubre la presencia del servidor de distribución y baja todas las configuraciones. A través de este servidor, podemos hacer también la transición prácticamente sin interrupción automática al ambiente web. Usuarios de Infor, por ejemplo, que empiezan con una conexión Telnet, mejor dicho, SSH, y después son migrados a la interfase de Infor en la nube con una interfase web, pueden utilizar el mismo software sin pagar ninguna cuota adicional para conectarse entonces a la nueva interfase web. El ConnectBot en este escenario puede ser enriquecido con código JavaScript, con páginas de código CSS, como vimos en la demostración que Steve nos mostró cómo cambiar los colores. Recientemente hicimos una instalación para un cliente de origen portugués en Colombia que mostraba el texto desalineado de las cajitas de texto. Y con código CSS corregimos eso inmediatamente. Podemos insertar también código de Apache Cordova y entonces enriquecer la aplicación con todas estas características que vieron durante las demostraciones. Esos archivos se instalan en el servidor de LATS y se propagan a través a lo largo de toda la base instalada de dispositivos. Y en ambos ambientes, tanto en Telnet como en web, este es nuestro punto de salida para alimentar en tiempo real el diferenciador más importante de Georgia SoftWorks comparado con cualquier otro de los clientes de conectividad que puedan conocer en el mercado. Dashalytics es una herramienta que Ben Sexton nos va a ayudar a conocer con detalle. At this point, Ben, I would like to hand it over to you. We've got plenty of time. We're very good on time. So take your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I will share the screen. So as Steve had mentioned earlier in the presentation, GSW ConnectBot and GSW LADs are in constant communication, sending data back and forth to each other. And then that information can then be sent up to Dashalytics, which is our real-time business and operational intelligence dashboard. This system overview is the screen you'll see when you first log in. It provides your device list in the top left, just gives you an overview of the devices, their names, what users logged into that device, the group, the last contact date, if it's active or not, and other information about that device. Before I go further on this screen, in the top left, we have different device groups. So there's this drop down. We can create different groups for different device types. This could be either different locations, such as if you had one office in one country and another office in another, you could have those separated out that way. Or it could be shipping and receiving as your device groups. Any way you want to group devices for easier management in Dashalytics, you can do that through the group system. On the right side, we have just basic licensing information. This covers the GSW LADS licensing, so you'll know before you run out of GSW ConnectBot licenses through the dashboard. Below this, we have scans per hour. This just shows you your daily scans, and I can scan some barcodes in real time to show that this information is updating in real time. So as I scan barcodes, the chart increases. And this goes for every device in the group. So the more barcodes that are being scanned, of course, you would see these graphs increase. Below this, we have Wi-Fi and battery levels for the group. And this just shows an easy way to find devices that need to be charged, such as these devices over here. Or if a device is constantly using Wi-Fi or losing Wi-Fi connection, you would see that on this graph as it updates in real time. We'll go more into Wi-Fi drops later on, but this is just a brief overview from the system overview in Dashalytics. And lastly on this page is just an event log of everything that's happened in that group. So you can see what's going on with the devices, whether connections are established, if connection was lost, if the user's changing keyboards, if they're typing in keys, if that's enabled. Anything that's going on with those devices you would see in this current event log. From here, we will go straight into the indoor positioning. So on the left side, we have our navigation through the application, and we have this positioning drop down. We support both outdoor and indoor positioning. Outdoor is GPS locations that we use to geofence devices, but it doesn't tell you where a device is indoors. So that's why we developed the indoor positioning using Wi-Fi RTT or Bluetooth low energy, whichever the environment supports. We can track devices using either. So here is the heat map, or this is the map of the department here. And in all the corners, you see the various access points. And these can be set up through the dashboard. So you would upload a map, and from that map, you would then list out where all of your access points are and go from there. That configuration would be sent to the device, so the device would know how to send that information up to Dashalytics so it can be tracked that way. With the indoor positioning information, we can generate the Wi-Fi heat map. So this is a heat map of the department. Each square is a 1 meter by 1 meter square with the signal strength listed. So the Wi-Fi signal strength scale that we use goes from 0 to 4, 4 being the highest. So you can see in most areas, 4 coverage is what we like to see. 3 is okay. Anything below that, you could start experiencing issues with the Wi-Fi connection. On the right side, we have all the access points listed. This is because we can disable readings from specific access points. So right now, the middle one is the only one that's selected. So we're just seeing the Wi-Fi coverage from this specific access point. So this helps troubleshoot any network issues, again, from the client side. So you're not going to get information about what kind of signal the access point is outputting. You'll just get the information directly from the device. And this information is also stored per device. So even if you have the same make and model of device, you can filter out the data based off of a specific device. Sometimes just manufacturing could cause a factor of what kind of signal strength a device may get in any given location. From here, we can go back to the system overview and to a device profile. So from the device profile, you will see some productivity information in the top and device information on the left. So the left side is more static information about the device. So your device name that you can change, the group it's in, Android version, make, model, and that type of information. On the right, we have the GPS last known location. So if the device isn't being tracked with the indoor solution, you'll at least have an idea of where that device last was with a timestamp of that pinpoint. On the bottom, we have a device chat, so you can message directly with that user. You can send regular messages that will show up as a standard Android notification, or you can send a high priority message by clicking this, which creates a large block on the screen so the user can't continue until they respond to that message. And those show up as red, so I will send a message just so you can see what it looks like in the dashboard. So there's 2 different types of messages, and you can also send files, images, anything you need to directly to the device while you're monitoring where the device is, what's going on with the device, and if the user is inputting data on that device, you can see what they're inputting here. If you're trying to locate a lost device, we can utilize this ping functionality as long as the device has battery and a Wi-Fi connection. You can ping the device and it will make a loud audible sound regardless of the sound settings on the device. So even if the device is muted, it will override that and make a loud sound. So even if it's behind a shelf or in a locker, you'll be able to hear that device and locate it that way. The productivity dashboard up here in the top left, this covers all of the scan information from your devices. So again, we can select different groups in the top left, and this shows your scans per hour, total number of scans, Wi-Fi drops, and alerts for that group within the selected time period. On the right side, we have scan goals. These can be set on a per group basis, and using the alert system that I'll go into later, can send automated messages to the user directly based off their progress towards that scan goal. So if they're halfway there, you can send them an automated message or whatever percentage of the way to that scan goal, or once they achieve that scan goal. On the left side, we have all of the barcodes that were scanned within that selected time period. So you can see each barcode, how many times it was scanned, and you get a big list of all of those. In the middle, we have scans over the entire year, so you can see how many scans were done in a selected time period. And you can filter this down per day. So right now, this is set to June 3rd, and this one's set to July 26th. So you can really filter that down day by day. The alert system in Dashalytics is completely customizable. So this initial dashboard is just an example of what it can be. And this dashboard is really just to give you a visual representation of what's happening with the automated alerts. So in the top, we have total alerts, and then on the right three, we have customizable cards that can be selected. So any custom alert that you have set up in Dashalytics can then be shown here. By default, it will track your low batteries, Wi-Fi drops, and geofence breaches, but this can be used to track anything in Dashalytics and then do 3 specific things based off of those. When an alert is triggered, the first thing it can do is create an alert in the top right of the dashboard. This is so any administrator logged into the dashboard can then quickly see it and respond to it. Second is an email sent directly to the administrator. So if it's something that the administrator needs to see, regardless of where they are, you can send that email and they'll get that on their phone or computer and can respond to it from there. Last is a custom message sent directly to the device. So if it's a problem the user can solve on their own, like swapping out a battery or any custom procedure that you have documented, you can send a customized message that gets sent to the user. So that way an administrator might not have to get involved to solve a problem, and the user can continue on with their work without having to be interrupted for any downtime with that request or maintenance problem. And then the rest of this dashboard just shows you the historical view of how many alerts have happened, alerts by category, so what type of alert they were, if they were Wi-Fi drops or Wi-Fi criticals, anything that you have custom or set up in the alert system. Again, that's fully customizable. From here, we will go into the keyboard creator. So built into Dashalytics is the keyboard creator. I won't go through the demo of actually creating a keyboard, but we'll go over the basics. We have 2 different ways to create keyboards. First is the Express Keyboard Creator. So if you need to create keyboards that are a more simple design, a standard layout, this is the way to go. It takes you through, it's a guided step-by-step. I think there's 5 steps to create the keyboard. And from there, it will let you deploy directly to a GSW ConnectBot configuration. So there's no need to move files around or sync anything up. It's just clicking buttons in the dashboard, and then you can deploy that keyboard straight to your configurations and download that to your devices. The Advanced Keyboard Creator lets you customize every single parameter of our keyboards. So this gets down to the exact pixel gaps between each keys, anything like that that's very specific with the keyboards. You would use the Advanced Keyboard Creator to get things very, very customized. And we can do pretty much anything with the custom keyboard, so there are a lot of parameters to change there. If you already have custom keyboards in your LADS installation or in any of your configurations, you can click the Import GSW LADS keyboards and import those directly into Dashalytics so you can customize them from there. And then on the right side, we have recent projects. So this will show you your 6 most recent keyboards you've created. You can delete those. So I can delete that one if I want to. You can edit them with the Express mode, which is the guided, or advanced. So if you need to make any changes to those keyboards, you can do that here. Or if you need to clone the keyboard, so you want to save a copy and edit a new version, you can do that as well. And then in the bottom right, we have the Manage All Previous Keyboards. This will store all the keyboards you've created in Dashalytics and show you when it was created, when it was last modified, if it was designed for portrait or landscape mode, how many keys, and so on. So all of the information about that keyboard you can get at a quick glance without having to load that into the editor and find out what the parameters of that keyboard are from there. One last thing I do want to mention with Dashalytics and the group system is the user access control. So administrators can, or you can have it set up so certain administrators have access to certain parts of Dashalytics down to each specific element on the screen. So if you wanted to be able to have certain administrators only have access to the device chat of the group that they're assigned to, you can do that through the user access control. So that way you could have operations managers of each location have access to just the devices and functionality related to that specific location. So there's lots of functionality there with the user access control. From there, I think it's back to you, Alejandro, with the rest of the presentation, unless there's other features with Dashalytics we need to cover.
No, only if you switch to the productivity tab, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Just let me switch to Spanish for a moment. Espero que estén de acuerdo conmigo. Esta plataforma es impresionante. Permite hacer la medición de la productividad que estamos mejorando en el centro de distribución, por ejemplo, a través de, en este tablero, a través de específicamente el número de escaneos que nos permite monitorear a la población total o por grupos de los trabajadores, y toda esta información queda disponible para análisis también en exportación. Yo creo que la pregunta que se estarán haciendo es, ¿podemos probar Dashalytics? La respuesta es sí. Now, I don't see the question, but I guarantee that people are asking that question in their heads. Can we try this from the end customer perspective?
Yes, absolutely. From the Dashalytics page, you can go, let me sign out. You can either go get the interactive demo, which logs you into the account that we just were demoing off of, and it will let you access the dashboard and use all the features within it. Or if you want to sign up, there's a sign up button, and it will take you through the steps to connect that to the GSW Labs installation, and then you'll have access to your very own Dashalytics instance.
And from the setup perspective, what does it take?
For Dashalytics connecting to GSW Labs, that's a 5-minute installation. There's no need to touch every single device. It's just a few configuration changes on LADs, which Dashalytics will walk you through step by step. And then from there, all the devices connected to that LADs will then start reporting to Dashalytics.
Impressive. Okay, so let me switch back to Spanish and start sharing my screen again. Entonces, estamos cerca del final de la presentación. Quiero invitarlos a que utilicen la ventana de preguntas y respuestas si es que hay alguna duda sobre la parte de la presentación que haya sido en inglés, por ejemplo. Mis conclusiones al respecto son invitarlos a que utilicen el software, bájenlo de Google Play Store o me contactan para que yo les haga llegar en un enlace de OneDrive los ejecutables que necesitan. Y aprovechen alguna de estas 3 características básicas del software. Aceleren el trabajo de cualquier flujo de trabajo dentro del centro de distribución mediante la lectura inteligente de etiquetas de códigos de barras, teclados personalizados o 0 teclados, manos libres y reconocimiento de voz. Cualquiera de las técnicas que implementen puede ser medida para demostrar el impacto en la productividad de los trabajadores a través de los tableros de Dashalytics que vimos hace un momento. Y mi petición es que lo usen. Estandaricen los dispositivos móviles al software de Georgia ya sea por la interfase Telnet o por la interfase de web. La productividad de los trabajadores reflejará el resultado. No veo preguntas en la sección de Q&A. Voy a cambiar a inglés de nuevo. I don't see questions from our audience, but I will invite either our present audience or those who are watching on demand to send us questions to either one of these two email addresses. Entonces, si no hay preguntas ahora, por favor siéntanse en total libertad de mandar sus preguntas posteriormente a cualquiera de estas direcciones de correo electrónico, a Mobilis o a sales@georgiasoftworks.com. Con esto daremos por terminada la presentación. Les agradezco muchísimo el tiempo que le dedicaron. And guys, I am deeply grateful for the time you spent delivering this demonstration for the Latin American audience. Talk to you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.